Hi everybody. In this video, we'll start working with the Cash Payments Journal. As always, I strongly recommend that you download and print the worksheets published for this lecture so you can follow along with the video and practice using the Cash Payments Journal. Marcus Products is a video production and sales company. The company uses special journals and posts cash payments to the General Ledger weekly. Let's take a close look at the cash payments journal used by the company. The company writes checks for a variety of reasons, including payments to vendors on account. So, in order to accommodate the variety of cash payments transactions, the columns provided on the cash payments journal are accounts payable debit, other accounts debit, purchase discounts credit, and cash credit. Let's practice. On November 1st, we wrote check number 183 for $2,700 to purchase a new desk. This transaction requires a debit to office furniture and a credit to cash. We can easily record this transaction on the Cash Payments Journal. Date November 1st, check number 183, description new desk, account title office furniture, debit $2,700, cash credit $2,700. Next, on November 1st, we also issued check number 184 for $1,700 to pay for November rent. Date November 1st, check number 184, November rent, debit rent expense $1,700, credit cash $1,700. On November 2nd, we issued check number 185 for $1,875 to Smith Brothers, a creditor, on account. Looking at the vendor card for Smith Brothers in the accounts payable subsidiary ledger, we can see that credit terms are net 30, so we should not expect a purchase discount when we pay Smith Brothers. Let's record the transaction on the Cash Payments Journal. Date November 2nd, check number 185, Smith Brothers, accounts payable debit $1,875, cash credit $1,875. Before we continue, let's take care of posting the payment on account to Smith Brothers vendor card in the accounts payable subsidiary ledger. Accounts payable subsidiary ledger, vendor Smith Brothers, date November 2nd, description check number 185. The posting reference is the journal page where the amount was originally recorded, Cash Payments Journal, or CP9 in this case. Return to the Cash Payments Journal and record a check mark in the posting reference column next to the $1,875 debit to accounts payable. On November 4th, we wrote check number 186 for $870 to remit sales tax to the state of California. This transaction requires a debit to sales tax payable and a credit to cash. Let's record the payment. Date November 4th, check number 186, State of California, sales tax payable, debit $870, cash credit $870. On November 5th, we issued check number 187 for $882 to Slade Company, a creditor on account for invoice number $900, less purchase discount of $18. Let's get this one recorded. Date November 5th, check number 187, description Slade Company, accounts payable debit for the full amount we owe them, $900, purchase discounts credit $18, cash credit $882. Why don't you pause the video and post this payment to Slade Company's vendor card in the accounts payable subsidiary ledger. When you're finished, start the video again to check your answer. Accounts payable subsidiary ledger, vendor card for Slade Company, date November 5th, check number 187, posting reference CP9, debit $900, leaving a zero balance on account, the previous $900 credit balance less the $900 debit we just posted. Did you remember to place a check mark in the posting reference column next to Slade Company $900 in the cash payments journal? And finally, on November 7th, we issued check number 188 for $2,000 as a cash withdrawal for personal use by John Marcus, the owner. To record this transaction, we'll need to debit John Marcus drawing and credit cash. Let's get it recorded on the cash payments journal. Date November 7th, check number 188, John Marcus. Other account titled John Marcus Drawing, debit $2,000, credit cash $2,000. Once all the payments are recorded for the week, we then need to total up all of the columns. The date is the last day of the week. Put the word totals in the description column, then total up the four columns. The total debits to accounts payable is $2,775. The total of debits to other accounts for the week is $7,270. The total credits to purchase discounts is $18 for the week, and the total of credits to cash for the week is $10,027. If your totals don't agree with these totals, please pause your recording to give yourself time to find and fix errors before you continue. Okay, now that we have finished recording the cash payments transactions for the first week of November, we have totaled up our columns, we need to check to see if we're in balance. Do debits equal credits? Does the sum of these two debit columns equal the sum of these two credit columns? Let's check it out. Total debits are $10,045, 2,775 plus 7,270. Total credits are also $10,045, $18 purchase discounts credit plus $10,027 credit to cash. Debits equal credits, and our cash payments journal is in balance. That's the end of this video. In the next video, we'll post our totals from the cash payments to the general ledger. See you next time.